Good evening, everyone. Let me ask you something important. If I gave you $1 million right now, but told you that you couldn't use your mind to manage it, how long would you stay rich? The truth is, wealth is not just about money. It's about mental discipline. Whether it's financial, emotional, or personal success, it all starts with your ability to control your thoughts and your time. When people fail, it's rarely because they're unintelligent. It's because they haven't trained their mindset. They let distractions, emotions, and chaos take control. But your mind, if trained like a professional, can become your greatest weapon. Tonight, we're diving deep into the mindset that separates the successful from the stagnant, because mental discipline isn't optional anymore. It's the foundation of every kind of success. Master your time, master your life. Let me say something that might shock you. Success has nothing to do with luck, talent, or background. It begins with one simple but powerful truth. If you can't control your 24 hours, you can't control your future. Time is the real currency of life. Not money, not status, time. Because once it's spent, it's gone forever. You can lose money and earn it again. You can miss an opportunity and sometimes get a second shot. But when time is gone, that's it, game over. Every single person you admire, every high performer, every millionaire, every world-class athlete, they all have one thing in common: 24 hours in a day. Just like you, just like me. The difference: they treat their time like a weapon, a tool, a business. They don't just go through the day, they command it. Now let me ask you, do you live by design or by default? Because most people live by default. They wake up and react. The phone buzzes, they check it. A message comes in, they answer it. A distraction pops up, they follow it. Their calendar isn't a plan, it's a random collection of tasks, chaos, and noise. They're busy but not productive, moving but going nowhere. But successful people, they live by design. They wake up with clarity. Their day is already structured. They don't wait for motivation. They've built systems. They know what matters. They know what to say yes to, and more importantly, what to say no to. They guard their mornings like gold because they understand something powerful. The way you start your day shapes the way you live your life. Time management is not just about having a to-do list. It's about respecting your time, respecting your life, respecting your dreams, because every minute you waste on distractions, on gossip, on meaningless activities, is a minute you've silently told your dreams, you can wait. But let me tell you the truth, dreams don't wait. They fade, they disappear. If you don't guard your time, you'll look back one day wondering where your life went and why you never became who you were supposed to be. You see, the world isn't slowing down for you, it's speeding up. The distractions are louder, the noise is heavier. The digital world is pulling at you every second. You think you're in control, but most people are being controlled by their screen, their notifications, their habits. The average person checks their phone over 150 times a day. That's not a coincidence, it's by design. Tech companies have invested billions to steal your time, your focus, your attention. Why? Because they know what most people don't. Attention is power. And whoever controls your time controls your future. So the question becomes, are you in control of your time, or is your time controlling you? Real discipline means telling your time where to go before someone else does. It means making conscious choices about how you spend your minutes, because your minutes turn into hours, your hours turn into days, and your days become your life. Want to know where your life is headed? Look at your calendar. If your time is filled with junk, don't expect a life filled with purpose. Some people say, I don't have time. But that's not true. Everyone has time. The difference is what they do with it. While one person uses an hour to scroll, another uses that same hour to study, build, plan, reflect, write, grow. That 1 hour, same length, different mindset, creates a gap so wide that one person ends up stuck and the other ends up winning. And here's something else to remember. Success is not loud. It's quiet, it's boring, it's repetitive. It's doing the right things over and over again, especially when no one is watching. People who master time don't just work harder, they work smarter. They know when to rest, when to lock in, and when to say no. They treat time like a CEO treats cash flow. They invest it into high return activities, learning, strategizing, practicing, building. They don't spend hours trying to look productive. They use every moment to become valuable. And don't think this is about being busy 24/7. No, time mastery is also about balance. It's knowing that rest is not laziness, it's recovery. That boundaries are not selfish, they're necessary. That sometimes the most productive thing you can do is protect your peace and sharpen your focus. But the truth is, most people avoid this kind of discipline. Why? Because it requires responsibility. It means you can't blame others anymore. You can't say, I didn't have time, when your calendar shows otherwise. You can't say, I want success, and then spend 4 hours a day watching other people live their lives. Your calendar is either building your future or proving you're avoiding it. So how do you master your time? You start by asking one simple question every night. Did I invest my time today like someone building their dream? Not. Was I busy? Not. Did I get tired? Not did I respond to every message, but did I move closer to the person I want to become? Because your time habits, those small daily decisions, become your reality. You don't rise to the level of your potential. You fall to the level of your time discipline. You don't need to wait for a big break. You need to use your small windows better. You don't need more hours in a day. You need to stop wasting the ones you already have. You don't need more motivation. You need more intention. Success is not built in the spotlight. It's built in the quiet hours when no one's watching, but you're still grinding. When you could waste time, but you choose growth instead. Master your time and you'll master your life. Because in the end, how you spend your time is how you spend your life. Train your mind like a muscle. If I told you the strongest muscle in your body isn't your arms, legs, or chest, would you believe me? Because the truth is the strongest muscle you have is your mind. But just like any other muscle, it only gets stronger when you train it. Think about this. You don't get physically fit by going to the gym once. You don't build muscle by lifting a dumbbell for 5 minutes. You get strong through repetition, discomfort, and discipline, and your mind works the same way. The problem is, most people don't train their minds at all. They live in reaction mode, letting life come at them like a storm. They scroll endlessly, they consume negativity, they avoid silence, they avoid discomfort, and then they wonder why they feel weak, distracted, and mentally exhausted. It's not because they're not smart. It's because they've never learned how to use their mind on purpose. Let me make this clear. Mental strength is not about being born a genius. It's not about IQ. It's about mental habits repeated daily. It's about practicing clarity over chaos, focus over noise, strategy over reaction. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you're doing a mental rep. Every time you choose to read instead of scroll, reflect instead of react, solve problems instead of avoiding them, you're strengthening your mindset. But here's the hard part. Just like lifting heavy weights, mental training is uncomfortable. It means reading when you're tired, thinking through tough problems when you'd rather escape, saying no to the easy dopamine hits so you can say yes to long-term growth. It means looking in the mirror and facing your excuses. It means catching your own negative self-talk and rewriting it on the spot. That's real work, and it's not glamorous, it's not Instagrammable, but it's powerful. It's the foundation of every breakthrough. Because let me tell you something, people with strong minds don't panic in chaos. They calculate, they don't react emotionally, they respond strategically. They don't freeze when life gets hard, they activate. They've trained their minds to operate under stress. They've built mental resilience not by avoiding pain, but by facing it and learning from it. So, how do you actually train your mind? Step 1, guard what you feed it. You wouldn't eat garbage and expect to be physically healthy, right? So why consume trash content and expect to be mentally strong? Every piece of gossip, every toxic post, every pointless debate, it's like feeding your brain sugar. It feels good in the moment, but it wrecks your focus. You want a sharper mind, feed it quality, read books that challenge your thinking, watch content that builds you up. Listen to voices that stretch your vision. Mental strength is built on intentional input. Step 2, observe your thoughts. Most people don't even realize their brain is running on autopilot. They wake up and instantly start reacting to messages, to noise, to problems. But mental discipline starts with awareness. You need to hear your own inner voice. Catch the fear, catch the doubt, interrupt the pattern. When your mind says, I can't, your training kicks in and you ask, how can I? That's the shift. That's the rep. That's the strength. Step 3, challenge your thinking. Comfort doesn't create strength. Challenge does. Push your thoughts into new territory every day. Ask deeper questions. Learn new skills. Solve real problems. Expose yourself to different perspectives. Mental training isn't just positive thinking. It's strategic thinking. It's about building mental agility, emotional control, and logical clarity. Step 4, practice focus like a skill. Because it is. Most people are mentally weak, not because they're lazy, but because their focus has been hijacked. They've been conditioned to switch from one thing to another, never sitting with one task long enough to go deep. But focus is the gateway to deep thinking. Deep thinking leads to real value, and value creates success. Start small, block out distractions, use a timer, build up your attention span like you build up muscles with consistency. And remember, this focus isn't just about attention, it's about protection. Protecting your mind from noise, protecting your peace from chaos, protecting your goals from distractions. Step 5, discipline your self-talk. Your mind believes what you tell it. So if you keep repeating, I'm not good enough, guess what? That becomes your reality. But if you tell yourself, I'm in training, I'm getting better, this is hard, but I can handle it, now your mind begins to follow your lead. The most dangerous part of the mind isn't outside influence. It's the inner voice that no one hears but you. If that voice isn't trained, it becomes your enemy. But if it's trained, it becomes your most powerful ally. And finally, mental training requires one essential ingredient: repetition. Repetition turns actions into habits. Habits shape identity. Identity drives decisions, and decisions create your future. That's the path. That's the blueprint. Every time you choose clarity over confusion, focus over comfort, growth over gratification, you're training your mind to win. You don't need more motivation. You need more mental reps. You don't need more inspiration. You need discipline. Even when it's boring, even when no one's watching, because over time, those boring reps, they turn into power, they turn into clarity, they turn into results. Your mind is a weapon, but only if you sharpen it daily. Train it like a champion, and you'll live like one. Think long term, not just payday. Let me ask you something real. Are you building for this weekend or for the next 10 years? Because one of the biggest mistakes people make is chasing quick money and calling it success. They focus on the next paycheck, the next bonus, the next temporary win, but they forget the truth. Real success doesn't come from what pays you today. It comes from what frees you tomorrow. Short-term thinking keeps people stuck in survival mode. They get paid, they spend, they wait for the next payday and repeat. No matter how much money comes in, it's never enough because their thinking is small, it's reactive, it's built for now, not for forever. But the people who win in life, they think long-term. They don't just ask, what's in it for me this month? They ask, what seeds can I plant that will pay me for the next 20 years? They sacrifice today's comfort to build tomorrow's freedom. It's not about being rich tomorrow. It's about being free in 5, 10, 20 years, not just financially, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Long-term thinkers aren't trying to impress people. They're trying to build legacies. They're not worried about how fast they can level up. They're focused on building a foundation that won't collapse when life gets hard. That takes patience, that takes discipline, that takes vision. Most people quit because they don't see fast results. They get discouraged when the money isn't instant, the growth isn't obvious, or the praise doesn't come. But long-term thinkers know success is like farming. You plant, water, and wait. You don't dig up the seed just because it hasn't sprouted yet. You trust the process, you stay consistent, and one day, what others gave up on, you harvest. That's how momentum is built. That's how wealth is created, not in overnight wins, but in daily deposits into the future you believe in. Every skill you build, every habit you form, every hour spent learning is compounding. Just like money in a high-interest account, at first it looks slow, but over time it multiplies beyond anything you thought possible. That's the power of long-term thinking. It protects you from emotional decisions. When life gets tough, short-term thinkers panic and quit. But long-term thinkers, they adapt, they adjust, but they don't give up because they've already committed to the bigger picture. They know the journey won't be easy, but it will be worth it. They're okay earning less today if it means gaining freedom tomorrow. They're okay missing a party if it means mastering a skill. They're okay being misunderstood today if it means they'll be understood for decades to come. And here's the thing, long-term thinking isn't just about money or business. It's a lifestyle. You eat healthy, not just to look good this month, but to be strong for years. You read books, not just to pass time, but to sharpen your mind for the future. You build relationships, not just for today, but to create trust and impact that lasts. Long-term thinking changes the way you live, the way you decide, the way you handle pain, because you're not living for applause, you're living for purpose. While others are chasing trends, you're building character. While others waste time, you're investing it. While others want to be liked now, you're working to be respected later. And that's what makes you unstoppable. Because you're not distracted by every little thing. You're locked in. You're not swayed by emotion. You're led by mission. You're not building for today. You're building for generations. So if you're not seeing instant results, good, that means you're on the right path. Stay consistent, stay patient, stay focused. And remember, this short-term pleasure will always cost you long-term peace. But long-term discipline will always lead to long-term power. Play the long game and you'll win forever. Say no to distractions, say yes to growth. Let's be honest, in today's world, distractions are more dangerous than failure. They don't just waste your time, they steal your potential. Every scroll, every ping, every meaningless conversation, it might feel harmless in the moment, but one day you'll look up and realize you're far from where you were supposed to be. The truth is, growth demands focus, and focus demands the courage to say no, not once, but daily. Consistently, without apology. Most people think distractions are obvious, but they're not. They look like entertainment, they look like news, they look like fun, but underneath, they're pulling you away from your vision. You say you want success, but every time you check your phone without purpose, every time you give in to gossip, every time you delay what matters most, you're saying yes to distractions and no to your future. Let that sink in. Growth is not accidental. It's intentional. It happens when you create space. And to create space, you've got to cut the noise. That means removing toxic habits, reducing digital addiction, walking away from drama, guarding your focus like your life depends on it, because it does. See, the people who grow the fastest, they're not the smartest, they're the most focused. They don't let the outside world control their inner direction. While others are chasing likes, they're chasing skills. While others are distracted, they're locked in. While others are busy being busy, they're building something real. That's not talent, that's mental discipline. You've got to protect your attention like it's gold, because it is. Every time you say no to distraction, you say yes to momentum, you say yes to purpose, you say yes to becoming the version of you, the old you would be proud of. But don't get it twisted. Distractions don't give up easily. They fight back. They come in the form of people, habits, and comfort zones. You will be tested, you'll be misunderstood. But that's the price of elevation. You don't grow by pleasing everyone, you grow by choosing purpose over popularity. You grow by protecting your energy from anything that doesn't serve your mission. So today, make the choice. Say no to noise. Say yes to discipline. Say no to distraction. Say yes to growth. And watch how fast your life begins to change. Use pressure as fuel, not a cage. Pressure, it shows up whether you ask for it or not. Deadlines, expectations, failures, uncertainty. It's part of life. But the difference between those who rise and those who fall is not the pressure itself. It's how they respond to it. For some, pressure becomes a cage. It locks them in fear, paralyzes their thinking. They freeze, they panic, they shrink. But for others, pressure becomes fuel. It sharpens their mind. It strengthens their resolve. It pushes them into their highest level of performance. Here's the truth. Success doesn't come from escaping pressure. It comes from learning how to carry it, channel it, and grow through it. The higher you go, the more pressure you'll face, because pressure isn't punishment. It's preparation. You don't build resilience when everything's easy. You build it when your back's against the wall and you show up anyway. You think diamonds are made in comfort? No. They're made under pressure. Steel isn't formed in silence, it's forged in fire. So stop running from the pressure, start learning from it. Ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? How is this shaping me? What future version of me is being prepared through this challenge? That mindset, that's the shift. That's when pressure stops breaking you and starts building you, because the truth is, pressure exposes who you really are. If your mind is weak, pressure magnifies doubt. But if your mind is trained, pressure brings out the fire. The strongest people you admire aren't stress-free. They're pressure-trained. They faced hard moments and kept moving. They didn't fold. They focused. They didn't make excuses. They made moves. Pressure forces decisions. When it hits, there's no time for pretending. You either commit or you quit. You either focus or you get distracted. You either execute or you make excuses. And that's why pressure is a gift, because it strips away everything fake and reveals what's real. It shows you what matters. It forces clarity. And when used correctly, it turns pain into purpose. But here's the key. You have to control your response. Your first reaction to pressure is always emotional. That's normal. But if you stay stuck in emotion, you'll miss the opportunity. You've got to move from panic to planning, from fear to focus, from overwhelm to execution. That only comes with repetition. By facing pressure again and again until it no longer scares you. Pressure's the gym for your mind. You build strength by showing up, lifting heavy, and refusing to quit, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. Because every time you survive a moment you thought would break you, you become more focused, more disciplined, more dangerous. You stop fearing pressure and you start respecting it. So the next time life pushes you to your limit, don't ask, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this preparing me for? Because pressure isn't there to stop you, it's there to shape you. And when you learn how to use it, you don't just survive, you dominate. Final words of wisdom and summary. Let's bring everything together. Mental discipline isn't just a nice idea. It's the invisible foundation behind every visible success. It's not built in a day. It's developed through daily decisions. How you think, how you use your time, how you handle distractions, how you respond to pressure, and how long you're willing to wait for the reward. The most successful people in the world aren't superhuman. They're human, just like you. But they've trained their mindset while others were chasing motivation. They mastered their time. So life didn't control them. They controlled it. They trained their minds like muscles, pushing their thoughts beyond comfort. They chose long-term vision over short-term pleasure. They said no to distractions and yes to growth over and over again. And when pressure hit, they didn't collapse. They converted it into power. That's not luck. That's discipline. You want to become unstoppable? Then build your mind first, because when your mind is strong, nothing can break you. Not rejection, not stress, not failure, not setbacks, because you'll know this isn't the end. It's just part of the path. So today, I challenge you, stop waiting for perfect timing. Stop hoping things get easier. Instead, train for the hard. Build the mindset that can outlast any storm. Your greatest weapon is already inside you. Your greatest freedom is already in your hands. It's your time, it's your focus, it's your discipline, and it's your mind. Use it right, and success won't be a question. It will be a consequence.